Alright my friends, Krebsy, and welcome to Space Engineers. Continuing on of what seems to be a series on this map. It looks like I'm going to be making all my creations on this map. At least what I've done so far. I don't know if we're going to keep on going with this. Just depends how laggy it's going to get. But anyway, in last video we made this giant crane, and what it did was it moved stuff from point A to point B by rotating the entire crane route. Now, a few of you guys said you could make it more efficient by building a rail system, moving it from point A to point B via that rail, and it'll be quicker. And yeah, so I was thinking rather than just, building this crane, the carriage on top of a rail, I thought we'd do something a bit different by building the rail, but also a different system by which the crane will work. So let's go check out what Krebsy's been pondering about and been crafting in his workshop that we call Space Engineers. And as you can see, we have made this cube. It's not a board cube, so it's not deadly at all, but as you can see, it's sort of like a Russian doll where it's got bigger cube on the outside and smaller cubes on the inside, and when this is all stretched out, it goes all the way to the bottom, where at the bottom of this cube is a landing gear, and that hooks on to whatever you're trying to attach to. And once you've got that, you bring it back on up and you move it along the rail system, as you can see. So we're gonna try this out and give it a shot here. So we've got a fighter down below in the workshop. The workshop boys were making this fighter. As you can see, it's very small. Nothing big was on the order pad today, but that's what we're going to be working with. It's got no jet propulsion on it, so it can't move by itself. So it looks like we're going to have to help out the boys. So manager is calling over. Krebsy, roof boy, open up that roof. Expose the area below. So it's my duty to go expose that area. I get inside the cockpit, move this thing on forward. Almost there, almost there, almost there. And the roof should be exposed. Let's go take a look just to confirm it, if you don't believe me. And there you can see the entire work area is showing. And so we can begin our job, our duty of moving this fighter all the way to that position over there. So let's go up to the crane itself. And as you can see, it runs along a rail system. Let me briefly describe what's going on. So we can move from point A to point B just in that direction using this cockpit up here, and then we can move from side to side using this cockpit over here. And then once we've got that done, we just pop on down into that cockpit at the bottom of the cube, and we just go on down to the fighter. So let's see how much we have to adjust. It looks like we're gonna have to go a bit back, so we're gonna go into the cockpit up here, go out into third person view just like so, and we're gonna start moving on backwards. As you can see, you'll notice that there's a bunch of landing gear around here, and it's there for a reason. It's to keep this cube in place, because as you can see with the way that this thing is working, if I didn't have this landing gear right here, then this component, which is hooked onto the rest of the cube, is gonna jitter around. It's gonna go up and down, so it's just stabilizer if anything. So we've moved on back a little bit, and that's just about over. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. Do we need to adjust to the right or to the left at all? We don't really need to, but we're gonna do it just for show, to show you guys what this is all about. We're gonna unlock the landing gear, and we're gonna start moving on downwards, just like so. Just a little bit. We don't want to go too far here. And now we gotta reposition our landing gear back. Let's lock it. We're in place. And as you can see, everything is sort of mingling about with each other. To be fair, I'll say this. To be fair, the inside is actually pretty damn stable. And it's again due in part to more stabilizers, like this landing gear in the middle. So in the very core of the cube, you've got this portion that's connected to the cockpit at the bottom of the cube, and this is what is the first thing to move out of the cube. And it has landing gear that's attached to the top. And this just allows you to stabilize the entire thing. It would be a lot worse than it currently is if there was no stabilizers, trust me. So the way that this thing works is that it's got about a cube and a half worth of space between each section of this big box. So that allows us a degree of movement. If you wanted to make this thing go vertically down, and I mean vertically down only, you would have to make it very, very tight, as in like airtight, the space between all of these boxes here. But we've got about a cube and a half, and so this gives us enough degree of movement so that if we're not spot on top of the fighter, which we probably won't be, we'll have a degree of movement of which we can adjust. So as you can see, we're not on top, but that's alright. We're gonna unlock our landing gear, and now we're just gonna move downwards. Hold on, let me go out into third person view so you guys can see what happens here. And see, it's gonna start pulling down the rest of the cube with it, and this is gonna be the retractable cube. So let's go focus on actually getting this fighter. Alright boys, here comes Krebsy with his crane, and I'm ready to hook on. See, we're getting closer and closer and closer and closer, and we're just about there. We're a little bit off, so we're just gonna adjust with our... Oh crap, we just pushed it a bit too far. Come on boy. There we go. Now let's just hook onto that like that, and we are latched on. But let's take a look at what's actually happened with this thing. So, because it's not airtight, yeah, look at that. It goes down a bit to the side, and then back to the side, and then again over to the side. It's just how it works. But when we go back up, it's going to retract perfectly, because it's got limiters in it that will prevent it from actually going in random directions. Well, straying out too far into random directions. I mean, it's quite random right now, but as in, I mean, you know, going out some really weird places. So let's back up properly here, because we're gonna need our landing gear at the top to attach to the rest of the box once it's fully retracted here. So we want to make sure that we don't damage them. And so we're going on back up. As you can see, all the boxes are going on into each other very, very nicely. And all we gotta do is just keep on pushing. We don't really have to be worried about our orientation. If we just keep on pushing, this thing will go into its own position, trust me. And we're almost there. Almost at the top of the cradle. Just getting the last piece in. Now we should be in the area where we can lock our landing gear. Oh god damn it. I think we can't seem to lock our top landing gear. And why is that? It's because we haven't reached. We're not close enough. We're not close enough. Okay, let me get back inside. And this is why you would need more people. Some guy up at the top of the cube to say, okay, you're not in position. You're not in position. I think I need to get a bit more like this. And then, are we locked in yet? God damn it. I can't do it, guys. I can't. Oh. Ah. It's not going in. That's what she said. But seriously, it doesn't seem to be going in as I intended it to be. But why could that be? Let me just quickly figure this out for you guys. It's because we're not reaching. Oh, well, I'll tell you why. It might be because we're a bit off. We're a bit off center. So exactly what I mean about having more people working on this thing at the same time. Is that gonna be it now? Are we gonna be somewhere where we intend to be? Let's move on down a little bit here. There we go. Yeah, that's it. You can see the green landing gear at the back. There we go. We are fully locked in place, and we are ready to move on to the next place. So we get back up on into the pilot seat up here. We don't have to even worry about this cockpit. We just go up to the top one, because this is going to be moving us from point A to point B. And so we begin our journey. So what you'll notice when you're flying this thing and moving from point A to point B, it's not the fastest thing ever. And I think this is one of the points that I have to bring up. Oh, I think it's actually a bit wonky, to be honest with you, because the cradle, the actual grabber crane, seems to, well, it's a bit off center, and I think that might be pushing this thing to the side a bit. But anyway, what I was saying, this thing isn't perfect, And it's just because you're actually carrying this giant cube underneath you. So when you're moving and propelling yourself forward, the sort of what the whole device wants to do is sort of like go around in a circle. It wants to just go downwards and downwards and downwards to keep on turning and turning and turning. But because of the rail, it sort of stops that from happening, and so you get this grinding that happens. And that slows us down quite a bit. To be honest, I don't think there's any way to fix it. Unless you've made this thing like airtight. I don't know. I just don't I don't think with this sort of system there would be an actual fix to it. But as you can see, I've put on these extending pieces. And that's just to make it not grind as much. Because if those weren't there, then it would be such a pain in the absolute arse. Oh my freaking god, it looks like... Oh shit. It looks like our thing is kind of spazzing out on the sides. We've got a lot of grinding happening. Oh wow, look at that. We've got some sort of fusion happening there. We're gonna ignore it for now because we're over our area. And if you're wondering, like, Krebsy, come on, what is this? To be honest, I haven't really tested this thing out. I'm actually testing this out for the first time with you guys, so it's good information for me to see what needs improvement. But anyway, let's unlock the landing gears at the top, lock back again, so we're attached to this fighter, and now we're going to deliver it to our point, which is just down below, and we can go quite fast because nothing's really going to stop us. But as you can see, the fighter has now been delivered to its point of destination. Haha! Thank you! Thank you, Krebsy. Thank you for delivering us our fighter. Now we can put the jets on. See? That is what I'm talking about. But now, one question also comes to mind. Can we do this with bigger pieces? So here we are. We've got this giant ship, and it's missing a fragment on it. And the guys in the workshop have built that fragment. Now it's time to go about and actually attach that thing. So we forgot one thing. And that was landing gear to attach it to the ship. I know it's supposed to kind of go on, you know, perfectly without the landing gear, but the Space Engineers doesn't really support that at the moment. That's something we'll have to figure out in the future. But what I kind of missed out in my last video was I forgot to turn off the inertial dampeners off of this big segment, and so I was sort of struggling using that chain over there on that crane to actually pull this thing up. It was just going really slow. So you guys told me, yes, turn off that inertial dampeners, and I have done it this time. Don't worry, I've done it. I sometimes overlook the most basic of things, but let's go ahead and try this out. So we're gonna just jump on into this and not even adjust our positions. We're just gonna try to grab onto this thing and hope to hell that we can pull it on up. Hopefully this is gonna be strong enough to actually do that. Okay, here we come. Here we come. We're just gonna try to latch onto some flat surface. Oh god! That was not intended. I think we need to actually get out and put a new landing gear on. Yeah, that wasn't quite what we anticipated. How about a bit slower this time, Krebsy? How about a bit slower? Yes, like that. There we go. And now we are in position to actually move back the way. So here we go. Can we do it? It looks like we can. In space, there is no weight. In space, you can pull up things. And wow, what a difference there not being any inertial dampeners. No kidding, Krebs. No kidding. Okay, here we go. Oh wow. Oh god. Do we still have the landing gear at the back? Hope so. I don't think they've gotten mashed up. And are we in position? That is the question right now. I don't think we're fully retracted yet. Yeah, we're not fully retracted yet, so nothing to worry about. I was getting a bit on the uneasy side that we would have destroyed our landing gear at the back. And shit. Have we actually done that yet? How far do we still have to go? It's kind of hard to tell. Let me go get outside and quickly check that. Yeah, we're done. Now, where is the landing gear? Ha! That's exactly what I thought would happen. We ended up destroying one of the landing gear. Absolutely freaking great, Krebs. You absolutely great. You destroyed one of the landing gear. That's because we went up a bit too fast for our own good. And now we're just gonna move on back as much as we can. I can't see that landing gear. Now I'm just gonna try to lock it in place. Nope, we can't lock anything in place. This is why we need a second person. This is why we need a second person to do this stuff for us, to guide us into place. Because how far are we off right now? We are substantially far. And actually, you know what, guys? We're gonna skip this step. Maybe we'll even cheat a little bit. Oh gosh. Yeah, talk about cheating, Krebs. Talk about cheating. This is all an idea. All I'm doing is giving you guys an idea from which to work off of. So let's unlock this, lock it back into place, and there we go. With a little bit of help, more than anticipated, we've locked on to the rest of the system, and now we can move on forward. Hopefully, this is going to work though. I'm hoping it's gonna work. Okay, on we go, forward. Will this whole system move with us? Yes, it will. That is a good sign. So now we know that we can move big fragments without a problem using the system. This is great. This is great. Let's just get this over. Around over the position of where it's supposed to go, and then we'll try to get it into place as close as we possibly can. So it definitely seems like turning off those inertial dampeners, wow, Captain Obvious, made a huge difference. No kidding. And there we go, we're just gonna stop right there. I'm not sure if we're actually contacting the ship down there. No, it just looked like from my perspective we were gonna crash into it. That's alright. We're not. We're gonna have to lead this into place now. Oh dear, this is where it becomes difficult. No kidding, Krebs. Push it. Oh god. Oh no, not again. Oh dear. This system that I have, it goes so fast. There we go. Now we just push it down. You just end up breaking yourself. Okay. We're gonna move a bit to the left here. Just like so. Oh gosh, how are we gonna get this thing totally oriented? That is the question. But it's not that bad, actually. It's not that bad. Where is our destination exactly? It's somewhere down along the lines here. And let's start moving over to the side. At this point, the guy who's operating the top of the crane, you might call on over to him. Please move me over a bit more to the left. That would be great. So no kidding, right now we're having a bit of trouble actually lining this up properly. We've almost got that first landing gear over there on the left lined up. And what we're actually doing is crushing everything. Oh dear. Oh dear. How far are we off right now? Oh man, we are so out of... Oh gosh. We are so out. Oh dear. So I think the problem with the system that I've made, although it's in premise the idea behind it is quite sound, as in having something retractable. You have something that takes up a small area, but has a high surface area, if that makes sense. So the premise behind it is good. It doesn't take up a lot of space, but yeah, it's kind of hard to work with if it's not done properly. Because even though you have the space and that allows you to adjust, you need more people to be working alongside with you. And this system doesn't seem to be as foolproof as others would be. Like, for example, just look at this. This is kind of way off. I think having something that was airtight, very, very tight, so that it really restricts the movement from the sides, so that it should just be the top of the cradle that's aiming. I think that would have been the best thing to do. But we know it can move things. Yeah, it can move things. So that's half the job, moving things, but we can't position it correctly. So if I was to say which one is the victor, this one or my other system over there, the crane, it's gotta go hands down to the crane. Much more accurate at moving things around. I'm not sure if it's as fast. Well, probably it is as fast, but it's definitely more accurate. Alright guys, so we're gonna call it a show there. Until the next one, this is Krebsy. I'll catch you guys later.